Okay, welcome back to Chapter 5, Infancy Cognitive Development. In this chapter, we're going to look at how the information processing model looks at infant cognitive development. Now, the information processing model focuses on how children are going to manipulate or process information that they either get from the outside world or already stored in the mind from their memories. And if you remember, if we look from Psych 1, from Intro Psych, we talked about memory and that whole information processing model. And you can see the a diagram of that model right here. We have that sensory input, which goes to the sensory store or sensory memory. Remember, where it lasts a very, very short time. If it's not rehearsed, if it's not used, it's going to be forgotten or lost. If it is rehearsed or used, it's going to go into that working memory or that short-term memory. There, it needs to be encoded, needs to have some meaning put around it. Otherwise, it'll be forgotten or lost. And once that meaning is attached, it's going to go to long-term memory once it's got that cue. Now, in long-term memory, if we have the right cue, if we have the ability to retrieve that information, good enough. If not, that information is going to be unavailable, or sometimes when the information isn't used, it's going to be forgotten. So what does this mean for infant memory? Well, we know that infants, even newborns, do have memory. They have a memory for things to which they've been previously exposed. And if we think back to Chapter 2, when we talked about the Cat in the Hat experiment, where moms read that book, and then after babies were born, the babies who had read that book were more likely to suck on that pacifier in such a way so as to get the recording of mom reading that book to them. So they were remembering hearing that Cat in the Hat book, making those memories even before they were born. Now, we know that memory begins to improve between the ages of 2 and 6 months. Older infants are more capable of encoding and putting that information into long-term memory and retrieving it than younger ones. And a great experiment was done, you see a little picture over here done by Carolyn Rovey-Collier. And what she did was she showed an infant a mobile. So brightly colored mobile showed the infant what it did, then tied a ribbon to the infant's ankle and attached the other end of the ribbon to the mobile. And the infant learned that when he or she kicked, it would move the mobile. So what they did is they gave it a day, one or 2 days, brought the infants back in, did the very same thing, tied the ribbon to the ankle and to the mobile, and guess what happened? They were able to remember how to get that mobile to move. 2 months old remembered how to make the mobile move after up to 3 days. 3 months old remembered for more than a week. So even in just that 1 month, their memory capacity was increasing. Now, infant memory can be improved if they receive a reminder, if they receive a cue. Same kind of experiment. The infants were shown a mobile moving the day before their memory test, but they weren't moving the mobile themselves. They were just shown a moving mobile. 3 months old then, the next day, these babies were 3 months old, brought them back in, tied a ribbon to their ankle, tied a ribbon to that mobile, see if they can remember after almost a 28-day delay. And they were able to. The infants who were shown the mobile the day before, if they were reminded, they were primed that, hey, remember this mobile and remember you can move it. The next day, after a 28-day delay, they were able to remember how to move that mobile on their own with the ribbon. Now, one of the ways we learn and make memories is through imitation, is through observation. Now, we know that neonates is less than an hour old are able to learn by observation and learn by imitation. They're able to imitate the facial expressions of adults. Now, when it comes, though, to deferred imitation, remembering what we learned before, sometimes that's not so apparent. It's seen in very young infants, but not really till later on. So why is this? Why is it that young infants can imitate a face, but if we ask them to imitate something that they've seen a while back, when they get a little bit older, they can't do that? They have a real hard time up until the time they're 12 months old with that deferred imitation. One of the theories is this idea around mirror neurons. And that these mirror neurons that we have are activated when we perform an act or we observe another individual engaging in the same act. So if we see somebody doing something, the neurons in our brain that would be responsible for doing that activity are going to be activated. Or if that person is doing something and we're doing it, obviously those same sets of neurons are going to be activated. It's very interesting. It's why they're called mirrors. Now, there's a research team in Italy that looked at infant monkeys, and they were looking at the brain activity as the monkeys reached for object. And so what happened is one of the researchers would reach for an object that had been handled by the monkey, right? So the monkey handled these objects. The objects were, put away. The researcher grabbed for that same object, and what happened was the monkey's brain, the neurons in the monkey's brain that had fired when the monkey picked up that object, those same neurons picked up or were activated when the researcher picked up the object as well. So these mirror neurons were found in these monkeys, but also in human beings. So we think that they're connected with a couple things, with emotion, like things like happiness, pain, and also when another person is experiencing emotion, so that helps us learn empathy. They think they're related to observational learning, that are in our ability to acquire language. Now, they have been shown to have some gender differences, or been related to, gender differences when it comes to empathy as well.